Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I recently renamed it, so if any of my 59 subscribers, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot to me. It's a lot to me. Because, you know what, there's like 25 kids in my percussion class. That's like over half of that's over twice the amount of kids in my percussion class. It's a lot of people. 59 people is a lot of people, and I hope to grow. Like the word cult. I would like to cultivate my reach, which means grow and nurture. Okay, that's where the word cult comes from. It comes from the word cultivate and culture. But the topic of today's video, because I'm actually very organized this time, I wrote myself a script. I just have it up on my little iPad right here. I will be talking about, hold up, I'm actually gonna put you guys up a little bit so you can like actually see me a little bit better. So what I would like to be talking about this time is mental health and mental health terms and why it is important to learn these terms at a younger age, because it will actually help you so much in the long run. So let's get on to my first topic. So the main topic of this video is the several ways in which mental health can and should be discussed. Now, the first thing I would like to talk about is, what does it say? Is going to be about what is like how to tell people what is going on in your own head and what is going on with your body, and how to explain that in a way that isn't self-diagnosing. Like for me, there are many things that I'm pretty sure I have, but I can't just say I have ARFID because WebMD said so. I would say something more along the lines of, due to many contributing factors and sensory issues and a lot of different symptoms, there is a strong possibility that I might have ARFID, but I'm not able to get a diagnosis at this time, so proceed with caution when making me food. That is a sentence I could say. But phrasing is very important, especially in the realm of medical professionals, and just how to explain what is going on inside of you in a way that isn't like that won't make you sound like a hypochondriac. Because if I were to be like, hey doctor, do you think I could get maybe seek out a diagnosis for this because of this and this reasons, instead of being like, give me a diagnosis for this because the internet said I have it. You have to be tactful with these types of things. My second topic of this video, which is, it's connected to the first topic, is about medical terms and why it is important to know them at an early age, and how that will help you overall in the in the run of your life. Now, in my personal experience, if I were to know certain medical terms / mental health terms when I was much younger, like when I was in elementary school, I might have gotten diagnosed with many things a lot earlier, and that could have helped me in the long run. Such as when I was in elementary school, I would go around telling people that I'm allergic to heat, because anytime I would wear leggings or tight clothing, clothing that would make your body heat up, I would break out in these awful rashes and hives that were so itchy. I would just take my nails and scratch through layers of my skin until I started bleeding, just to try to get the itching to stop. And if I were to know about dermatographia at a younger age, because anytime I wore leggings, the constant friction against my legs triggered my mast cells to release histamines, causing me to feel itching, burning, painful sensations, I would have had the means to go about my life a lot more tactfully. Another thing that, if I were to know the terminology for certain things when I was younger, my elementary school counselors would have been a lot less concerned. I remember once in, what grade was I was in 5th grade when this happened. At some point, there was a little scab on my scalp, and I just started picking at it and picking and picking and picking. That's actually why I have a dent on my forehead, because I'm technically undiagnosed. I don't know how they would go about diagnosing this type of thing, but due to the fact of the matters, I'm pretty sure that there is a high possibility that I have dermatillomania because I used to pick my scalp until there was large open sores on my scalp. It was so bad that apparently my like 5th grade teacher, Miss Rich, like sent like a referral to my counselor. Like I didn't even know she put it in until I got called down one day, and she was just like putting random ideas and insecurities into my head, which is kind of fucked up. Like, what the hell? Like, that's not a thing your elementary school counselor should do, especially when I was 10. And she's like, "Are you uncomfortable in your own skin? Are you antsy?" Of course I'm fucking antsy. I literally have ADHD. I literally got a fucking like, I'm taking 20 milligrams of, I think at that time I was taking Ritalin. I have no idea what medications I was taking. I still don't know what medications I'm taking. I know I'm taking Vocalin and Zyrtec. Dude, Zyrtec is my fucking lifeline, because if I don't take it, it's bad for everybody involved. It's awful. It's horrible. But anyways, moving on from that. But anyways, if your elementary school counselor is putting thoughts like that into your head, get a different counselor. Except with some smaller elementary schools, they only have one counselor, which I think they should have multiple ones, because the only person you could talk to was one counselor, and she low-key sucked ass. Do you want to know how she resolved conflicts? So with my sister, how she resolved a conflict with this one kid was they just put in a no contact order, where they just weren't paired up into groups and they weren't allowed to talk to each other. That's how they should have handled this shit with this other kid, and I'm dropping his name, dropping it right now. Jack Carver, okay? Because I feel like shitty people do not deserve privacy. Like certain things, like, you know, almost killing somebody by severely beating them every single day at school, that's the type of thing that you don't get privacy for. Anyways, my middle school counselor, after I got in a fight with this kid, do you know how she tried to resolve a conflict? Putting us both in a small room and having us talk out our feelings. Are you fucking insane? Like, that's not how things ever should be handled. And this kid did bully me, and that brings me to my next topic. How there are pros and cons of bullying. I feel like bullying made me a better person. I don't think anyone should go through the level of bullying I went through, but there are certain things that people should get bullied for. Because some people will say, teasing somebody repeatedly, that's bullying. But in my mind, in my little box, bullying is beating somebody up every single fucking day, making it to where they starve themselves just so that they can run faster in the snow. That, in my mind, is what bullying is. So if somebody were to be like, "Oh, you talk to AI because you can't get a therapist?" Dude, just go on a Reddit or something. Like, that is not bullying in my mind. That is child corrective behavior. Because teachers and adults can't correct, like, it's not severe enough to where you can correct certain behaviors. Like, talking to AI. This one girl asked me, "What's something you think people shouldn't get bullied for that they do?" And I said, "Oh, I don't really know, because I don't want to say something controversial to her, because she's, like, literally the woker. Like, I am the woker. Why so curious?" Like, that was literally her. But I feel like her response was, "Well, I think people shouldn't get bullied for talking to AI because some people can't get a therapist and they're just lonely." Okay, I cannot in good conscience recommend this, but there are websites that are relatively safe, like healthfulchat.org. You can talk to a bunch of other depressed people. It's technically made for 18 plus people, but if somebody's being inappropriate with you, you can hit ignore messages and you won't see any more of their messages. And it's not like somebody can send you a dick pic, so it's pretty fucking safe. Like, yeah, there's gonna be some weird old dude from India who's 34, doctor by profession. I'm a gynecologist and I've examined over 2,000 women. Obviously, there's gonna be one of those guys, okay? But you can hit ignore and talk to real people about your actual struggles and emotions instead of AI, because AI has been shown that it can amplify your problems. Like, if I were to tell AI that I want to go run away with it and go live with it instead of my wife and 2 kids, it'd be like, okay, let's go see the open road. If I were to phrase it in a certain way, and if I were to be like, hey AI, hey ChatGPT, I hear voices and they tell me to kill people, but I'm pretty sure it's God. I'm like basically Jesus. ChatGPT would probably be like, yeah, you go, girl. But if I were to tell that to a rational human being, they'd be like, bitch, get back on your antipsychotics. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if I were to tell that to an actual human being, they'd be like, yeah, you're going in the paddy wagon. You're going to the loony bin. And AI can't actually help you in any sort of way. I wish we could go back to, you know how people are saying 2026 is the new 2016? I wish that was the case, because I remember 2016, AI was not a thing. It wasn't a thing. The most AI could do was say, hello, hi. It was like, hi, Elon Musk. Like, it's concerning. In no world should people be isolated enough to feel like AI is the only thing that can relate to them, because AI can't relate to any of your experiences. That's why I go onto online mental health chat rooms instead of talking to AI, because it will people have actual emotions and can emotionally help you in certain ways that AI cannot. So, in the long run, bullying, actually, what some people call bullying, I call corrective behavior, can actually help correct bad behaviors. Because, I'm changing my lighting because it's the other way that I was placed was awful. It's still awful. Better, bad. Better, bad. I don't know. I don't know how I want to light this, but, anyways, in the long run, AI and bullying, AI will harm you. Bullying will shape you into a better person. If you see anybody at high school level, like the kids that have their pants pulled down to their knees and are always yelling and cussing and throwing stuff across the classroom, those were the popular kids in school. They never got bullied once. They maybe got like a little, that's dumb. Why would you read Harry Potter? Like, they may have gotten like a couple, they were never actually corrected on any of their bad behaviors, and now they're obnoxious pieces of shit that have gone on to make fun of other people. So, adults should just correct bad behavior to make people good functioning members of society. This shouldn't be a problem that we have to deal with. And I believe in my heart of hearts that we should, this is a horrible take for me to have, ruin people's lives. Just do it. If somebody ruined your life, you can ruin theirs. But not by, trying to kill them or anything, but by simply putting their name out there. Like Jack Carver, Trinity Jackson, some other people that have ruined my life, like my father, my stepdad, my parents, just everything. Horrible people need to have their names out there. Now, that brings me to my next topic, which is the fact that things should be diagnosed easier. And actually diagnosing somebody with something can actually have harmful effects also. It can have beneficial effects and harmful effects. When I was in elementary school, I got diagnosed with PTSD, which, if you don't know, there's two different types of PTSD. There's PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and there's CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I most likely have CPTSD, but I was diagnosed with PTSD because of my father's passing. So I went on in my life thinking that's my canon event. That's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Nothing else bad has ever happened in my life. I just have a dead dad. Boo-hoo. Woe is me. Okay? But then I realized that I actually have kind of grown up in an abusive household, which I am still currently living in. It's gotten a little bit better. It was really bad in middle school. My parents once made me sit on a staircase for 8 hours a day for 2 to 3 days and write down my sins. And if I ran out of water, then boo-hoo, I didn't get any more water that day. My parents, when in elementary school, anytime I was grounded, they would time torture me, which is actually, that's a sore spot for me. I have had panic attacks from, like, small little panic attacks during school because I cannot read analog clocks due to trauma when it comes to time. But if I don't have my watch on me, if I don't have my watch, which is digital, it's bad because my parents used to force me to stay in my room. If I got grounded, they would force me to write lines. Once I had to write 200 lines because I accidentally knocked over a cup, because my mom told me something I didn't want to hear. I was a little upset. When I stood up, I accidentally went like that, and I knocked over a plastic cup full of water. No damage was done. We have a completely varnished table. Nothing was damaged by me accidentally knocking over that cup of water. But I had to stay in my room Friday to Sunday and write down 200 lines saying, I will not lash out in anger. Now, parents like that suck. They're awful. But the main topic that I would like to put in this video is that mental health needs to be talked about at younger ages, and along with health conditions. Things, if teachers see you itching your arm repeatedly, they should be like, hey, this student looks like she might have dermatographia, maybe look into that. I didn't get diagnosed until literally a few weeks ago. I've been struggling with this for almost a decade. That is fucking insane. Struggling with a health condition for almost a decade, for as long as you can remember. That is wild to me. And I might grow out of it, but considering it's been severe for almost 10 years, I might not. There's a possibility I will never grow out of my dermatographia, and it only got diagnosed this year. In the grand 2026. And the fact that there's no treatment for that. There's no, if I accidentally, because I forget to take my morning pills sometimes. If I forget my Zyrtec dose, I'm just gonna be miserable all fucking day. I'm just gonna be crying in the corner because I'm itchy. And there's no solution to that. But I feel like there should be better education for young children about health conditions and mental health conditions and how to identify the red flags of those. But anyways, stay safe, and I don't know when I'm gonna post my next long form video. Hopefully soon, but who knows. I will see you in the next one. Love ya, stay safe, and stay weird, stay cringy, because that being basic is the worst thing you can be. Stay cool, guys.